Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening. This is the Shot of Review show with your host, Jarrell, and my
Me.
slightly hungover or incredibly hungover co-host, Stu. How you doing besides the throbbing headache and
Uh,
sweats?
yeah, sweats, no headache. All right. It's
You gonna,
becoming a weekly thing now.
you're gonna, that's how they usually work. You're gonna make it through the show. We have a lot going on today.
Yeah, I'll just hang back.
All right. So on this show, what we do is we sit back with a couple beers. Maybe I'll be doing most of it since my co-host is
Nah, liquor might pet me out. I
All
don't
right,
know.
we'll see. We'll see. We sit back with some beers, some liquor, and we talk about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in the news, and as well as we do reviews of the current albums that came out. So for today's show, we'll be doing the latest from Jason Derulo, the new one from Jimmy Fox, and the highly anticipated album from Muse, and as well as we got our little what we call our mascot for all the shots, Little John, which he'll let us know when it's time to take some shots. And what is the drink we're doing today, Stu? Every week we do a different drink.
This would be Zambuca.
Zambuca, which I've never heard of or tasted, so I'm a little excited and scared at the same time because I don't do good with liquor that's completely clear, like tequila.
Well, no. It's actually it tastes like black licorice.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, but which is kind of like tastes like Jaeger, I guess.
A little more like black licorice, like
Okay.
almost like the exact ingredient that's in black licorice, anise.
Cool. Do you mind getting me a beer from the fridge,
Nah, it's
real
fine.
quick? I don't know why I didn't prepare myself when we're gotta have some drinks to get the energy going. It's in the bottom thing right there. Well, you know where there is, right? Get me one of those frosty cold glass ones. Delicious. I could pop this off myself, I think. I'll use the shirt. Hold on one second, folks. Stu entertain the guests while I open my beer.
Sorry, I should just open it for you. But you're a big boy. You can handle it.
Handled. Good. So, why don't you get into why you're so hungover? How was your week? Or your weekend, I should say.
Um, Pretty good. Saw a burlesque troupe battle, so it was pretty interesting.
Now, what is that? You went to a
I
bar,
never-
right? And saw
Never
like
seen
a
them.
burlesque
There was
show?
no actual battle though, which I thought there was going to be like some sort of like, competing. No, it's just different girls on the stage, but they were from two different troupes.
Were they naked or just in lingerie?
No,
Pasties?
yeah, pasties, lingerie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Who was that? What did they do anything interesting besides like dance to like like with fire or anything like that, or dance
No,
to
they
like?
did some lip syncing and some other stuff. It's
Okay,
interesting.
so did they
It's your usual burlesque show.
love them? Yes. You always get to go to all of them. I miss them every
It's
time.
not just. They're not really strippers. It's a little more artistic.
Yeah, but they
Well, a
come
lot
out.
more.
They are strippers because they come out with clothes and in without.
Oh, yeah, well, they don't end without. They still
Less.
have some clothes on. Yeah.
Like a lot of the strip clubs out here in New Jersey are the same way. Whereas like if they serve alcohol, they don't get naked, and if they get naked, they don't serve alcohol. So I'm used to that kind of thing where they don't get totally naked. So we take what we can get around here, you know.
Well, I am there for the debauchery. I do like it.
Yeah.
And they don't bother you for friggin' dollars. I mean, they ask for tips at the end of it, to help pay for like clothing and
The
supplies.
burlesque show you're talking about, right?
What's that?
The burlesque show you mean? They don't ask for tips?
No,
Okay.
they don't come up to you and like, oh, you want to lap? There's no lap dances. You don't have to throw money at them or anything. They don't nag you for any money. It's a show.
What was like the song you remember they danced to? Like that was like they danced like the boots made for walking or something like that.
Oh
Some
no,
old
I
school
don't
shit.
remember any songs in
Okay.
particular. No.
I'm just
No, there
imagining.
was. If anything, there were very like eclectic songs that I would have never.
Yeah,
heard
like
of.
mostly like rockabilly stuff, or maybe like
Yeah.
folky stuff. Okay, I wish I got to see that. It must have been really nice. But I've been to the place you went before, Roxy and Dukes, which we did that interview with the Cheese Puff Death Crunch last month.
One of the troops actually played one of they were at one of Cheese Puff Death Crunch's shows. It was a Halloween show.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
had seen them before, and it was pretty cool. They were
I saw some
covered
pictures
in
online of
glittery
those,
blood.
Yeah. So what about what's actually got you so hungover? You went to a barbecue yesterday, right?
Yeah, I was. It was.
Want me to put the fan on?
It was Paps
Yeah.
after Paps for
There you go.
I guess since 2 o'clock, or no, probably later than that.
You went to a. You went to
Probably
a.
about 3 o'clock till 2 in the morning of nonstop Paps.
You went to a. What do you call those? Uh. Whatever those things, those hipster parties. You went to a hipster party. They had nothing but PBR and fucking indie music in the background.
No, it was just my friends and their
Who are
children.
not hipsters, by the way.
Their children were there, so it was just a backyard get together.
And you were telling me before we started recording that it was too much beer. You prefer the liquor
Yeah.
than the beer.
Well,
So
I can't go that long having liquor in my stomach, like hours and hours and hours of hammering
beer,
beers.
yeah, beer.
Yeah, beer in particular. Yeah.
you gotta switch up to some liquor
I'd
sometime.
rather get drunk, get it over with.
I'm glad to hear that. And so's Little John. He said it's time to start the shots off.
Still in the frizzy.
Let him finish singing first. Now, Little John, you just heard earlier that Stu is recovering from a hangover. So can we ease up a bit on the shots? Do you want me to talk to him to have him calm down a bit? Will that be? You don't want him to say 18 or 19 times, or you'll be pretty
I gotta
wasted.
work tomorrow.
Yes, we all do. Which will lead into my my weekend. So Friday, me and the wife, Mrs. S, went to see Jurassic World. You missed out. It's if you don't want to compare it to the last movie, or I mean the first movie, it's not going to be as good as that. But it was definitely something that it was definitely a redemption of those last two shitty sequels.
Did you see it in 3D?
Yes, we did actually. Wasn't worth it, but we did.
Yeah, 3D these days doesn't seem to be worth the extra.
Let's
money
do a
that you
toast.
pay.
I'm gonna try this. What's it called again?
Sambuca.
Sambuca. A little taste of Sambuca, and then I'll get into what I thought of Jurassic World. This licorice, you're right.
Very nice.
I could drink that all day.
Good. Yeah, it's very tasty.
So, they completely ignore the second and third Jurassic Park like it never even happened and skip right to this one. So, it's not as good as the first one, but they did a really good job with the CGI. It was really more of like a slaughter. The body count is really high in this movie compared to the first one. I honestly can think there were like 4 deaths, right? Four people died in the first one. You can remember, Stu? I mean humans.
No, I only remember one guy dying. The guy that was on the shitter. That's
Okay.
That's the only death I remember.
Well, what about
wait,
Newman? Newman from
yeah,
Seinfeld.
yeah, he died too. Yeah.
And the hunter died because
Hunter?
when he was like clever girl, and then that
I
raptor
don't-
just
I don't
jumped on him
remember
and
that
ate
part.
him alive.
All right.
And then what was the fourth one? I can't remember the fourth one, but anyway. So, but this one like easily beat those 4 in like the first 10 minutes.
Oh, there were multiple deaths.
Multiple deaths, dinosaurs dying, people dying.
Dinosaurs dying.
Yeah.
Oh, the missile launchers.
Well, they had a
Shooting
hybrid
dinosaurs?
dinosaur, and it was hunting for sport. But I don't want to spoil the whole
okay.
movie.
All right.
But this is the problem I had with the
No,
the
that
trailer.
was in the preview. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in the trailer.
So why would you make a dinosaur that can kill you without a kill switch? And it's like, oh shit, I didn't imagine it would do that. It's like,
What are you gonna put some genetic thing in its code that like it's vulnerable to gluten or something, and you feed it gluten and it dies?
something like you remember Deep Blue Sea, right? With the sharks that they were using Alzheimer's disease and it ate Samuel L. Jackson in the middle of the movie, and those were gonna be sharks they're gonna use for war and shit. And then obviously something goes wrong, and then the sharks that they made are hunting them in the rest of the movie.
And they didn't have a kill switch, something that.
No, they had to get guns and shoot the sharks at the end.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go through that effort, so why make a hybrid killer dinosaur? Just because obviously the way the movie plays out is that people are bored with the dinosaurs, it's basically like going to the zoo, so they have to up it to get the attendance higher.
All right.
Which is weird to me. If there's fucking dinosaurs, I'm kind of there, but with what happened at Jurassic Park 22 years ago, I remember that. I'm not going to that place.
You'd have to synthesize some kind of genetic disease into the dinosaur, so you could stop it. something a little
Yeah.
stronger than like lactose intolerant or anything. Because I mean,
Well, they put
you
something
can
in
feed
his
it some
head though.
pizza and it can get diarrhea,
Yeah,
but that's about
something
it.
like that.
Something a little more severe.
Well, I don't want to give the whole movie away, but you definitely got to check out this movie. I really liked it, and if you hated the third one, which I did, and don't remember the second one at all, which I don't, this one will definitely redeem yourself for that. So that was my Friday night. Saturday, I did the same thing you did. I went to a barbecue for my stepsister-in-law's way up in the boonies in this town called Columbia, New Jersey. So you got to say, I'm from Columbia. You're like, you don't have an accent. You're like, no, Columbia, New Jersey. This town you never heard of. The Sticks.
You never heard of the town that I was at?
Yeah, I remember saying that when we were walking.
You were
here.
like Mount Holly.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Mount Holly?
That sounds familiar, but Columbia. I don't want to disrespect any of the fans that are listening from that place, but there's nothing to fucking do there. You have to walk pretty far. There's bars, quick checks, and gasoline. That's it. then you walk, you drive to the next thing, and it starts over again. But it was all right. Same problem I had with you. Too much beer, too much food, so you can't like pack it all in.
Yeah, I did have a lot of food too.
This is actually the second barbecue in a row I've been to because my job had a picnic cookout for lunch on Friday, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't get like enough plates down. Like I see, like they have the burgers. I'm eating the burgers. I'm eating the ribs, and then I'm like, oh, let me get some more, and I just can't. I can't even fucking move. So I'm like, I'll just sit there and wait.
Fast beforehand.
That's what I did on Friday.
Oh.
What you mean fast? You mean don't eat at all, or just eat something light?
Yeah, I don't know. Just like eat something light the night before.
Yeah, basically it's like Thanksgiving.
Have a salad or something.
It was Thanksgiving 2 days in a row for me.
The next day.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving 2 days in a row, so it was like mad food, and I couldn't get it all down. Even if I eat light or don't eat at all, it makes your stomach really small, so you can't fit anything in. But if you eat a lot, then you're just too full to eat. So there's no medium. I don't know what to do, but I have to figure something out because next weekend we're having a cookout at my parents' house, so I gotta find out a good way to even out alcohol and food at the same time. Any suggestions?
From me?
Yeah, from you.
I thought you were talking.
I
thought you were talking to
people.
everyone else.
They're not gonna answer me, obviously.
Yeah, send an email.
Yeah, we'll give you the email address at the end of the show. If you can figure out a way to what do you call it? To binge on food without getting full after the second plate. Basically, it's your typical buffet style, like strategery.
Maybe if you do nothing but meat.
No bread.
Yeah, no bread. And nothing that the alcohol soak up. So you can get packed the most density into your stomach.
I think the problem was yesterday was the patties were huge. Huh? That was a mistake. I had 2 of them, and I was like, I can't even finish another plate. I should have just had 1 since they were so thick. But I should have known that it was going to be so thick because it took them like at least an hour to cook like the burgers. So that's obviously means you're using a lot of fucking patty right there.
No spare ribs.
Yeah, spare ribs.
They had ribs.
They had chicken. They had a salad. They had potato salad. They had macaroni salad. They had desserts. They had shots in like these little strawberries. I didn't get to try one because I was so full. A shot
in a strawberry?
Yeah, they cut like the top of a strawberry out and put the shot in it, and you just eat the whole thing.
Cool.
But I didn't have any because I was like, I was too stuffed, and I'm like, I couldn't find the fucking liquor. I have the same problem as you. I'm looking around, there's beers and coolers everywhere. I'm like, I want some liquor, but I don't want to like ask and be rude, you know?
Well, I could have. There was Huckleberry whiskey.
Oh my darling!
But I did not like it. I took 1 shot of it, and it tasted like Jameson, and I don't like Jameson. I'm part Irish, but nope, can't do the Irish whiskey.
Yeah. All right, so that was my weekend. But what I wanted to get into is something that happened to me at work in the middle of the week. I was talking with a coworker, and we were talking about our ways of approaching women and finding out if they have a boyfriend. You ever want to talk to a girl, and then once they drop the boyfriend thing, it's like you have to think of an exit strategy so it's not awkward. So we were talking about like our techniques of like how to find out if someone has a girlfriend or a boyfriend already.
Yeah, I found out you're supposed to look for a ring first, then look at boobs.
Yeah. Not
the other way around.
One of the girls actually is married, and she was saying that she hates that when guys talk to her and then they don't do their recon first of finding out if they have a boyfriend. I mean, she has a husband, and it's like that's kind of like juvenile, like middle school shit, like asking around, like, oh, does she have a boyfriend? Tell what she thinks of me. Find out, like, you want to approach the girl and talk to her yourself. But I have a technique I use. I don't want to give it away, but what was funny about that is I was telling the kid, like, it's kind of funny, like, now girls should just say it immediately, like wear t-shirts that they have boyfriends or whatever. And he's like that reminds me, like, there's one time I was holding a door open for someone and she's like, I have a boyfriend. Just, and he was like, okay, and like she just threw that right out there. If you do anything remotely nice to her, she does that. But the point I want to make in my story is the second time this happened to him is he held the door open for someone at work a couple weeks ago when he started, and a girl walked up to the door and she's like, I can do it myself. What do you think? I can't hold the doors open for me? And he was like, no, like I was just being polite. Sorry. So later that day, he's at his computer, like doing whatever he does, and then one of the women from HR approaches him and said, "Can we talk with you for a second?" And he's like, "Okay, I don't know if I don't remember us actually assaulting anyone. I didn't grab any asses. So I don't know what I did wrong." And he's like, "What happened with the lady today?" Who basically went and complained to
Did
HR.
she complain to HR, or HR somebody just caught onto it and then
No,
said
she
something?
went to HR and complained
Ooh,
for sexual discrimination.
discrimination.
Can you believe that? Now you hold the door open for someone, they can say, you're discriminating against me because you assume I'm a woman. I can't do it myself.
That's like the famous quote. I'm not sexist. I'll punch a girl.
I'll punch anything. Yeah. But what do you think? Like, you can't even be nice to women anymore. Like, they're fucking gonna complain. Or they're gonna, like, the boyfriend thing was not a big deal. But that thing, like, he was being wrong for being polite. So now I slam the door in anybody's faces. I don't even give a fuck. Guys, girls, whatever.
No, I always try to hold the door open for anyone.
But
So
you
I
can't
mean,
anymore. Unless, I mean, at work, definitely. They might complain.
well, maybe he made it really like obvious, like she was like 50 to 100 feet away, and he was like, opened the door, gave her a big smile, and
Started jerking off right
no,
there.
no, not that.
Started drooling and everything. Nice tits. After you, bitch. No, it's just I asked him many times. He said, "I just held the door open, and she complained." And he doesn't remember who it was because he was a temp at the time. But what scares the shit out of me about that is how easy it is for girls or anyone to complain about what you say or do at work,
No,
especially in the corporate world.
I think he's the one lying in that.
Well, dig this.
Why would he tell anybody the story though?
So we were talking about holding doors open,
Oh.
or the other thing, and that's what led to him saying that. We're like, we can't believe that. That's really true. And if you meet this guy, he has stories for days. So,
Right.
a little shout out to you, Ross, if you listen to this episode. And then also, what I wanted to say is that what's funny about it is now I'm afraid to say anything at work because when we were at work, we were talking about at the lunch table, people all around you at lunch tables,
Penises,
shit like that.
vaginas.
We were talking like one of the things
Is
a guy
that
walks
your
a
kinda
guy walks
talk?
by, right? A guy walks by who's kind of like awkward looking and shit, and I was like, I don't like that guy really because he's really weird, and it irks the shit out of me when he asks for so simplest thing that he could do on his own, and then the guy across from the table would be like, oh, that guy I think has Asperger's. I'm like, what is Asperger's again? And he's like, oh, so that's a form of autism.
Oh, I think everybody has Asperger's now. That's been coming up way too much. In this past
That's my point. Yeah.
This past 2 weeks I've heard Asperger's like 5-6 times. All different people with Asperger's. And actually, the only time I ever saw someone that was medically diagnosed with Asperger's was on TV and actually believed it. It was on TV, and the kid had a hard time socializing with anybody, even like his parents, and couldn't even didn't know exactly who he was insecure about himself and everything. You could definitely tell there was mental illness, not just like some sort of slight social disorder.
Yeah, but what's the difference between Because he said it's a form of autism. So
Yeah,
I'm like, what is the difference between autism and retardation?
Okay, autism has varying degrees too, though.
Right.
So I guess Asperger's does have varying degrees, but I don't know how you can find out that you have a light case of Asperger's.
Just kind of,
like,
it's kind of like,
I guess I have a light case of Tourette's.
It's
'Cause
kinda-
I'm always like, oh shit.
it's kind of pink. It's not fully cooked burger. It's not well done Asperger's. It's just a medium rare Asperger's.
Wait, you were wondering what's the difference
Between retardation and autism. Obviously, because we can't say that word anymore.
No,
We can't say
you were-
things are retarded.
You were saying autism and Asperger's. The difference between those two?
No, because I said, what's Asperger's really? And he's like, it's a form of autism. And I was like, then that got me on my mind, like thinking like, I'm sick of this autism word. Why can't we say things like people are retarded anymore? He's like, oh, it's wrong to say retarded. And that's one of the words I missed from the 80s. I have two words I missed from the 80s.
Well, I only think of
Listen, the two
Down
words I missed-
syndrome as being
Yeah.
retarded.
Yeah.
That's because
Like-
you can see it and
Yeah.
prove it.
But you can't say it anymore. If someone's got Down syndrome, you can't say they're
Oh,
retarded.
some people are, that
You have to
have
say-
it are smart.
You have to
so,
say they're
yeah.
autistic still.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. You can't say homosexuals are faggots, and you can't say like, autistic people are retarded. Now, don't get me wrong. When I use the word faggot, I don't refer to it as a homosexual. I think that's wrong. But I like to say like, oh, that guy is being like a fag, or not because he's doing something gay.
All right, now you dug yourself too deep.
But I like when it's
Keep
like,
on with the justification here.
I'm gonna say the
Listening.
point of my story is I was like, these are my two favorite words that we can't say anymore. Retarded.
No, I believe
and
you should be
faggot.
able to say whatever you want, but
You can't
yeah.
say retarded and faggot anymore. Which I was talking.
Yeah,
I was talking about
context.
I was talking about this at the lunch table.
I mean, comedy, anything should go. So
Well, I wasn't-
context has a big thing. to
Yeah,
do
I wasn't
with
trying to be funny. I was just saying. Then I got scared. Like after I heard what Ross held a door opener for someone and got like HR called them. I'm like, what? We can't really like talk at work anymore like about this stuff because it's really someone could be listening from another table and complain, especially if you can't say the R word and the F word anymore. So then I'm like, when can you say something is retarded? And he's like, you can't say retarded anymore.
Well, you see what's been going on in local news with all of the racially charged statements at public workplaces as far as the county.
We'll get to that in a second. Let me finish my point.
You know what I'm talking about.
Let me finish
though.
my point though.
All right.
So like, I said, when can you say? He said you can't say retarded, right? So I'm like, when can you say the F word? And he's like, all right, dig this. And he does this whole Louis C.K. routine. He's like, if you see two guys blowing each other at the same time, they're not being faggots. But if the one guy pokes his head up and says, oh, I don't like the decor in this room, you need to get some more drapes in here, then you gotta say, stop being a faggot and suck that dick. And we're like, Jesus Christ, you're gonna say this at lunch? And no one complained. But now, after I heard the Ross story, I'm like, holy shit, I gotta really watch what I say. I gotta distance myself from whatever people say. And I'm at the point now where I'm fucking sick of the corporate world, where it's like you have to really watch and censor your like dialogue and all that shit. So what do you think? Like, do you have the same issue at your job where you have to like watch what you say at lunch or anywhere you, even if you're with all your buddies and coworkers, you have to make sure you don't say anything that could possibly offend someone that's an earshot of you.
No, the only trouble we had was when every once in a while we'll have a part-time female secretary, and we listen to some charged radio, and they're usually talking about sex and stuff. So
like you're listening to
sometimes
XM.
she'll come out into the shop, from the office, and then she'll hear stuff or hear us talking about stuff that it's probably would be offended by.
Yeah.
So yeah, we ran into that, and I'm probably the least, the last person that would bust out saying some shit, because I hear a lot of shit at my work that's pretty much wrong.
Yeah, you work at a
It's
warehouse
funny.
where basically.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's almost like working at a construction
there's no
site.
whole bar. Yeah. No holds barred.
Yeah,
But,
Hulk Hogan style.
Yeah. So we always had to watch for the secretary coming in. Anybody else from the office, they'd come into the shop and they'd laugh because it's all dudes. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually afraid to go to even speak my mind or joke about anything at work. Like the guy that said that Louis C.K. line was going a little too far, and it was really awkward because we're sitting with new temps and who are women, and it's like you want to like let them know it's okay to sit with us and initiate them into our crew, but at the same time, you don't want them to feel like embarrassed or uncomfortable. But I don't know. It's just now. Like I said, I don't hold doors open for anybody. I don't even. I just say hi and that's it. I don't want to offend anybody. But it's the world we live in now. So what do you guys think about that? You can email us when we at the close of the show. Give our email, and you can give us your opinion on that. But we're running a little long, so let's get into our Stu's Views portion of the show.
Woohoo!
Stu's Views.
Woo,
Stu's
woo.
Views. This is the part where I give him some news topics, and he gives us his usually uncanny opinion on what's going on, or how he feels, I should say. So, should we? Is it time? What do you think, Little John? All right, he said it's time.
I was gonna ask where Little John is.
He was intrigued by my story because you know how offensive he is. He's talking about sweat dripping off his balls and shit like that in some songs. So I'm surprised he can say anything not off color whatsoever. You know. This is actually really good. Like I
I'll
said
never
earlier.
look at skeet ball the same. It is skeet ball, right?
It is Skeet Ball. Even when people I meet named Skeet, it's like that's your
That's
name.
a name?
Yeah, the guy from the first Scream movie, the boyfriend. His name is Skeet something.
Down the hatch.
All right. You like the Green Knoll? This is a bar in New Jersey, in Bridgewater, New Jersey, by the way.
I like the outdoor seating and the bar that's really hard to get beers at or any drink.
What about the music
and
there?
I do not like the cost. I think their drinks are
What about the
cost
music,
too
though?
much.
You like
and
the music there?
Sucks. No.
Well,
I guess I don't like the Green Knoll. I've been there like twice. So I don't like it.
basically, the story I got from...
And everyone likes it.
The story I actually got from my wife, Mrs. S. She was talking about it, so I pulled a story up for today's show. And it says, music giant BMI is suing New Jersey restaurants. Bars in Jersey City, Central Jersey, and the Jersey Shore targeted for playing Lady Gaga Rolling Stones. So it says Billie Jean is not his lover of the Green Knoll Grill, didn't have permission to play his song in his 1982 hit. That mistake could cost the restaurant to the tune of several thousands of dollars for each of the 4 songs that Broadcast Music Inc. claims the venue played one Friday night in May 2014. In addition to the Michael Jackson favorite, Green Knoll Grill is accused of allowing patrons to rock out to the early 90s Robin S. dance hits Show Me Love and even Lady Gaga's Bad Romance song, which gives the Bridgewater Watering Hole an unlikely distinction of being the defendant in a lawsuit involving the House of Gaga as a plaintiff. Green Knoll Grill is not alone. Every year, BMI sues about a half dozen bars and restaurants in New Jersey alleging copyright violations.
Performance art copyrights. That is performance art copyright. Like it's another type of copyright other than like your album.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's how they're doing that. It's a real thing.
So last year, the music giant took more than 160 businesses to court, saying they played one of the 8.5 million songs in its repertoire. The violations could be a result of music played on speakers, DJs spinning records, or patrons screeching out karaoke. The copyright laws are so complex that it takes into account the square footage of the public venue and how many sound speakers and television sets a venue has in order to determine whether a license is needed to just turn on the radio or TV. Businesses that don't want to risk getting sued will pay for blanket licensing from BMI and the other 2 performing rights organizations, which is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, and the Society of European Stage Authors and Composers.
Was that ASCAP?
It's ASCAP and
ASCAP. Sorry.
CSAC. ASCAP and CSAC.
ASCAP.
The 3 organizations license virtually every song heard on television and radio. BMI is so large that that it licensed half of all songs played on radio and has agreements with more than 650,000 businesses, resulting in 977 million in revenues last year, much of which the organization says was distributed of copyright holders of songs. So far, what do you think? You can actually be sued for
Yeah.
playing your own music.
Yeah.
I mean, playing music
Not
of
not playing your own music.
playing all you.
No,
like,
I'm probably
what I did.
You probably can get sued playing your own music if another record label owns you.
But you remember when I was DJing, like I was breaking all kind of copywriting laws. 'Cause I know I played some Lady Gaga and I know I played some Rolling Stones
Yeah, it's a little
at
bit
the bar
different.
I DJ at.
If it's I guess they go after venues that would have a bigger scale. Maybe they had live music acts, and then in between the live music acts, they played music.
They don't have live music at Green Knoll.
They never have.
No, there's no.
All right. Well,
band
I
there.
guess they did it.
I'm just wondering how they even
They
knew.
made it look like a big enough official DJ setup that they got them on performance art.
Is BMI like? Do they have like cameras and shit in all the bars in New Jersey to find out what you're playing, or did someone
No, they
a
had
representative go there? And
yeah,
tell
they
you?
had a representative there and knew which songs were covered under performance art copyright law, and
That shit's scary because I broke all kind of copywriting laws, and I don't know what.
oh well, back in the day, anytime you used to remix something,
Mm-hmm.
they used to put the records out, and they were called white labels. You would have a record and have a white label on it, and then most likely magic marker, so it couldn't be traced. You would know who wrote it, like because it would sound like that producer. But those were white label records. I mean, that's a record too. Performance art's a little more iffy, but I mean it even comes down to performance art can also include dance moves. Like
Okay.
if you're
doing the moonwalk
copyright
and something
yeah,
like that,
if you
it'll
got a
be
copyrighted move and then somebody's doing a performance art and they're copying all your moves, you can sue them. Yeah, that falls under performance art as well.
yeah. But it's like it reminds me of like when Paris Hilton years ago wanted to copyright her catchphrase "That's hot." So I was fucking scared every time I like even like burn my mouth on something. Like, what do I say? You know. But anyway.
That's overly warm.
So, the BMI annual rates range from a minimum of $357 for a jukebox to $2.90 for every person allowed in the venue's maximum occupancy, for a DJ of $5.85 per person for live music. Now, while most of these copyright cases are settled out of court, one case involved an Italian restaurant in Linden, New Jersey, last year, allowing the public to see just how costly such lawsuits can be for the businesses. A federal judge in December ruled that this place on West Elizabeth Avenue would have to pay $24,000 to $6,000 for each of the 4 songs BMI said the restaurant played last May. Now, do you think that's a little high?
Okay, that's a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
What are they doing going after Italian restaurants for music? It's not a big concert venue or anything.
Well, that's the point
Like,
I'm
'cause
making
that's
in the article.
normally it has to be performance art, so it has to be like a large deal. Like I can understand like when they're playing songs in between bands at like some big festival. Like you better make sure that they're not under performance art because that you're actually it's even though it's technically not a performance, it's in between performances. You're still at a venue that should honor that kind of copyrights. But an Italian restaurant, why?
I'm just saying.
Can I listen to music in my car?
They might go after Cars music next. I'm just saying, like, if I want to sing like a Lady Gaga song at karaoke, I want to sing like a fucking Just Dance or anything like that.
They're gonna have
I have to
Shazam-
ask, can I pay
Shazam
first?
radar.
I have to pay first. I have to pay $24,000 just to sing a fucking karaoke
I'm
song.
gonna drive by you with Shazam radar. What are you listening to?
It's gotten worse.
That's it. Pull over.
First they take away our faggots, and now this. I mean the word faggot.
Pile of sticks.
our bundle of
cigarette.
sticks tiled together.
Yeah, cigarette.
They take away our fags, and now this might.
No, that won't work.
Mrs. S is here. What are you're here? You want to give a comment on this? You're over the mic. You want to say something?
I only heard a little bit, but I did read a little bit about the whole Lady Gaga song thing, and I do think it's ridiculous. And for somebody to like have a job where they just go to random restaurants or bars and like write down what songs just to fuck people over, I think is a bit ridiculous.
So yeah, me and the wifey here are in agreement. I think you're all about it, Stu. Sounds like it.
No, I think it has to be the right place. There has to be there has to be stipulations where you can't use copyrighted performance art material.
I have a list of the places in New Jersey that got sued, and like one of the places, Zeppelin Hall restaurant.
Because obviously commercials, you can't use any music you want on a commercial.
Yeah, but that's
You-
public. You're publicly broadcasting something. It's the tiny
it's
bar.
the same thing. Instead of publicly broadcasting, you're performance art broadcasting. So if it's a big freaking venue and you have other live acts, I think then
You think it's all good then?
then you should
You
make
should pay,
sure
yeah.
either pay or play something else.
So you think like the owner of every restaurant should go to this record label?
No.
and find out.
I think they should be protected somehow.
Yeah, that they're protecting by paying out of court costs and all that stuff. But to avoid that happening,
Yeah,
you're
they
saying
shouldn't
they
have
should
to be
find
paying
out
anything.
what
or
they can or
they
can't
shouldn't
play.
even have to be hassled with it. It's yeah.
Great.
That's
So we're
all.
all agreeing on this. Cool. Next topic before we get to the albums. You like to take shits on toilets? We all do. But if you sit on a toilet, you don't know squat. So apparently we're doing it wrong. So this story I got from the Huffington Post. It says, "Are you sitting down for this? Well, don't. Parking your butt on a toilet reportedly makes it harder to poop. You need to squat instead, according to the recent video on the Business Insider."
No, I actually lift my legs up, like kind of go on my toes anyway.
You're doing it right
so,
then.
So it's like it's. I don't even
You're
want
a
to say the
fucking
name.
liar.
There's
You do not
some,
do that.
There's something. It's like the squatter poopy or something like that. It's,
Squatty potty.
Oh, all right. I didn't want to say it, but
So sitting creates a difficult angle for your waist to travel through because the puborectilius muscles choke the rectum.
yeah, but
That
we'll
apparently makes you
evolve.
strain.
We will evolve around toilets eventually. 10,000
it
years,
makes
our
you
poop will
strain
come out perfect.
and increases your pressure on your abdomen. Squatting is a more natural position, and the stopwatch proves it too. According to the clip, Business Insider cited a 2003 Israelite study in which squatters evacuated their battles in 51 seconds, while those who sat on the toilet did it in 130 seconds. Of course, BI isn't the first
Dude,
to
that's
tell
because
us.
your legs are tired.
What?
Your legs are tired.
Can I get
You're
to
not
the
gonna
fucking
get
story?
Squatting? Come on.
We know we
Yeah,
was.
but it's total bulk. I mean, bulk.
You know, before
It's total bullshit.
It's total human shit.
No.
You know, before like.
God damn it! I can't say bullshit. It
You know,
doesn't work.
before toilets, that's how we used to shit. Does the bear shit in the woods? People did too.
Yeah, but it stresses the legs, so of course you're just gonna push it out instead of trying to get like a magazine or a newspaper and like enjoy it.
Yeah, but it's time consuming. Don't you have stuff to do?
I don't.
And plus, like I said, it's choking your rectum. You can't do it that way. So of course, BI isn't the first to tell us we should be reverting to the more old fashioned way of defecating. A proctologist once proclaimed, "We were not meant to sit on toilets. We were meant to squat in the field." The notion that the squat is more effective has been around since the 1960s and 70s. The ideal posture for defecating is the squat position with the thighs fixed upon the abdomen. Other than squatting out your current porcelain throne other than ripping out your like we're actually saying, don't get rid of your toilets. What you said before is get the product called the Squatty Potty, which is basically a stool for your stool.
Now I feel like some other very popular radio show that comments on the squatty
Pooping?
potty all the time.
I never heard of this thing.
You've never heard of it?
It's
Aw,
like a
man.
stool. You put your legs
Okay,
up on.
There's a certain guy. I think he coined shock jock. No need to go any
We
further.
won't go any further than that.
That constantly promotes the squatty potty on his very large radio program.
Robin, I invented the Squatty Potty. That's what he says, right? He invented it, right? is all him.
Oh, and he didn't invent it. He just,
Yeah, I'm
he
sure he'll
uses-
claim it though.
He uses it and loves it, along with shittens.
Yeah.
They're the mittens that you can wipe your ass with and throw out. Shittens.
What?
Yeah, they're mittens that you can wipe your ass and throw them out.
Okay.
You never heard of shittens either?
Is it like on a roll, like or do you put them on before you go in the bathroom, and you have to wash
No.
them every time?
No, you don't wash the mitten
You
every
throw 'em
time.
out, right?
Yeah, you throw them out. Yeah.
So they're in the
it's
bathroom.
Like it's like a butt wipe that fits on your hand. So you absolutely cannot get shit on your hand anywhere.
So would you revert back to the old
Do you
fashioned?
still wash your hands after that? If you're totally sure that there's no shit on your hand? I would. Yeah, I guess you still wash your hands after.
So now that you know that you're doing the shitting wrong, would you revert to squatting outside or getting rid of your toilet, or do you want to get the squatty potty?
No, actually, I kind of like the. I just lift my legs up kind of on my toes, so I get a little different angle. Maybe
So
I
you,
lean
you
back.
plan this
You know
whole
what, they
thing out
could-
every time.
They could design toilets a little bit different, where you could lean back a little. You know, like a reclining toilet. I always wanted a.
The future is now.
I always
in
wanted a
Stu's mind.
recliner that doubled as a NASA toilet.
I think I
as
saw it in
well.
the Simpsons
It
episode.
sucks it and just
Yeah,
jettisons it somewhere else.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
saw that in the,
Simpsons they had that.
yeah. He had like the toilet like recliner.
The poopa lounger.
Mrs. S, what do you think of this topic?
Okay, you're probably not gonna want to be my husband anymore after I say this, but in our bathroom, because like where the shower is, I can, if I really need to, just put my legs up.
Oh, so we don't
I
even
have
need
used
it.
I have used this technique because
I'm-
sometimes you need to get, you need to think of different ways to help it move along. So sometimes I do that. I've even gotten to the point, not here because I have, our shower right there, where I turn around
Hmm.
and then like lift up my legs onto the wall. When it comes to those.
Where do you do that at? Like a public bathroom?
No, like you could do it at like a regular bathroom because, like,
You toilet in reverse?
Yes.
Oh, like you cowgirl that shit? Like
yes,
ride it?
Yes. And put my feet on
Wow.
the wall.
That's embarrassing when someone walks in on you.
Well, when desperate times like that happen, you make sure that door is locked.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Stu, pass the mic to Stu real quick. Stu, if you have to reverse for guys anyway, that means you have to take your pants completely off.
Wouldn't you have to if you were a girl too?
Oh yeah,
At
good point.
least,
Good
At
point.
least off of one leg.
Is that what you're saying? You take your pants off to shit? Okay. Huh. Wow. All right.
Lean back.
Or lean forward, actually. He like hugs like the upper decker and like
Yeah,
poops that way.
You would have to lean forward a little bit.
Yeah. But like, what about? Do you do this technique in public like bathrooms, Stu? What is your technique then? Do you just go
Dude.
poop normally? How do you shit in a public bathroom?
Sometimes I squat. It depends on the condition of the bathroom.
Oh, you hover
yeah,
sometime?
Yeah, sometimes I'll hover.
I thought that's only for bitches, man. You hover?
No, I'll hover.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know
I had
that-
to hover today.
You know they-
at Taco.
I thought you were going to say our bathroom.
We're gonna get in trouble for saying names of stuff, but Taco Bell, yeah.
Well, they're used to
it
that.
was looking real bad. That bathroom was looking destroyed.
People shit on Taco Bell
so
all the time.
I was hovering.
Yeah,
the
but
AM Crunchwrap was delicious though.
oh, good plug right there. But like I'm saying, like they make things where you can put it down so you don't have to hover. It's like the shape of a man's head.
A man's
Like-
head.
like
you mean the
The plastic thing you put
yeah
down.
the toilet? It's like wax paper.
What do you? This is my question. I want to real quick before we get to the review.
Yeah, I like those things, but they take like 10 minutes to try to like.
Especially if you have to take a
Yeah,
really bad shit.
And then if you don't rip that little centerpiece out.
Oh, you have to rip it off?
No, there's a little centerpiece that you have to rip so it goes down in the toilet
Yeah,
a little bit.
so that's how it works?
If you don't do that, you'll end up pooping
On
on your
yourself.
own butt.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. Do you rip it off or do you put
No,
it?
I pooped on my own butt one time.
So
'cause
my question is,
'cause I
why-
thought the poop would just rip right through the
Yeah,
wax
that's what-
paper. Nope.
Why is it there
No,
if you have to
will
rip it
poop
off
on your own
yourself?
butt.
They should just have it. This is a hole. They shouldn't even have you have to rip it off.
Yeah, I don't know why they'd have that.
I'm like saying like why I have to rip it off and I thought I was doing it wrong all the time. I think you're supposed to like let the weight of your poop like push the flat part down.
No, it didn't.
I know
The flap
yours
hung
didn't.
on,
You
yeah.
have light shit. Your shit's too light for it.
No. Okay, maybe.
How
it was
much
like
does your shit weigh? Would you say?
I take average shits.
How much does it
I don't know,
weigh?
sometimes I take little tiny shits though.
So it's like
I
less
do
than a
like
pound?
taking more often small shits
It's
than
less than a
storing
pound
it
then,
up.
yeah.
I don't like feeling anything in there.
Okay. All right. So what do you think about? So yeah, you said that you already do this, so you don't need the squatty potty. So I guess I'm not alone on this. I'm gonna buy it myself.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it would get more
I'll
height.
carry it everywhere I go.
It might get more height than my toes, but
Yeah. Either I'm gonna poop outside, I'm gonna carry this fucking stool everywhere I go. And with that, it's time for some shots.
Everybody.
You can hear that? I thought it was just the voices in my
Did I
head.
actually hit it on time?
Try it. Ready? You were kind of slow, but you had it.
Yeah. All right.
Let's pour this before we get into our review portion of the show. More shots. Now this part, as I say, we do a shot, review an album. We do a shot, review an album. Everyone who reviews an album has to do a shot.
You're slurring.
That's what makes the reviews more interesting.
No, that was not an alcohol slur.
That's just my autism.
Your Asperger's. That was a Freudian slip.
Clink. Now, apparently, my co-host was too drunk or too busy to review the first album we're doing tonight, so I have to do it on my own. So, without further ado, Jason Derulo has a fourth album out called Everything Is For. And he's, you heard Jason Derulo, Stu?
I'd like to give my opinion. I believe it most likely sucks, and I'd give it a fuck this.
Okay, well, he's a Miami or Florida singer. You might
Just
want to
guessing.
say that. You heard the song Wiggle?
Just guessing. Wiggle?
That goes, you know what to do with that big fat butt. Wiggle, wiggle.
The one part where you said wiggle sounds
Okay, so you-
familiar. But
have you
no,
heard-
I don't think I've ever heard it.
Have you heard this song that goes, talk dirt to me? Talk dirt to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard that one.
And you heard this song that goes, what you say, what you say, what you say.
You're really bad at this, or I'm really bad at it. I don't know.
So, he, obviously, you know he has hit songs.
Okay.
But he has also written songs and produced songs for P. Diddy, Sean Kingston, Cassie, and Lil Wayne. To name a few before releasing his self-titled song in album 2009. But like his other albums, this one features numerous special guests from Meghan Trainor to Keith Urban and even Stevie Wonder. Now, I must admit, the first two tracks, Want to Want Me, and I think the song is called Shanae. Yeah, Shanae had like a bubblegum dance pop sound that had me dreading listening to the rest of this album. But then it gets to a bit more funkier, like a song for a brief moment with the Southern Club dance track called Get Ugly. So my interest was peaked like a millimeter until the song ended. Now, there's one of those songs on that I want to say real quick to you guys out there. The song that's called Pull Up. Could he have said the phrase "skirt" enough times? There's a song called "skirt." The song called Pull Up. He said "skirt" like 4 times. And I'm like, all right, I think the novelty has worn off already. Have you heard of Meghan Trainor, Stu?
No.
You're not all about that bass? No trouble?
Yes.
Okay, so she's actually a guest star on a song called Painkiller, and she's channeling her like inner Ariana Grande to help Jason create this supposed summer jam of 2015. But let me just say, if I heard this song in a club, I would definitely dance if I was drunk enough. But it was like, I want to hear a song. If you pull an artist in that has a signature sound, I want her to do that signature sound, like not like conform to like somebody completely different to like fit in with what's going on.
If you're drunk enough,
Yeah, like right now,
Would-
I
would-
probably would dance to it.
would like some oompa kind of polka get you going if you were drunk enough?
No,
No.
no.
All right.
But they have another song called Broke, which I mentioned before. He has Stevie Wonder and Keith Urban. And this song has them both together on it. And the song's called Broke. So not only is your talent completely wasted on this track, But similar to the LL Cool J song and the Bradley Parsley, which is called "Accidental Racist," he successfully proves how difficult it is to blend country music, urban music with country, despite the fact that Keith Urban's last name is Urban. It didn't work for me. So another thing Jason seems to do, has shown us over the years, besides the fact that he can easily sound like Chris Brown, is that he is a singles artist, meaning all his best songs are hit songs or singles. Memorable B-sides are not in his department. In fact, it's only been a day since I heard this album, and I've forgotten it completely. There's nothing new or different here at all. So I give this album something you can skip. Stu, what do you think of the album you didn't hear? Obviously, you can't say anything.
I already gave it a rating. I didn't even hear it. But no, I was.
Oh,
wondering,
you hated it more than I did. You didn't even hear it.
I was wondering if he worked on different record labels for all the tracks that he sold, and is this one particular record
He's
company
worked with
he works for?
Cash Money Records with Lil Wayne or whatever. He's produced like their albums.
So he hops
like
around.
that.
People want him to do this.
And no one. I never knew that until I did some research. But he didn't just come out of nowhere. He's been working at it. But I'm saying this is his fourth album, and he hasn't really matured in his sound remotely to me.
Oh.
So that's why I say you don't have to. You heard his sound already, so there's no point wasting your money on this or even downloading it whatsoever.
Yeah, no. I didn't even listen to it.
Lucky you. Everybody. Shots. This is really good.
What, Zambuca?
Yes.
It's pretty tasty.
I don't even have to drink beer anymore.
Here
Stick
we
to that.
go. It's we got a slogan here.
Uh-oh.
Is Lil Wayne
We're
done?
plugging.
Little Wayne still.
He's done. Little John is done.
Oh, sorry.
Don't get the
Lil
littles
Wayne.
wrong.
Yeah, a little drunk. The cool, smooth flavor of anise root and white petals of elderberry flowers are blended for an exotic sensation. Does that sound good?
It tastes good too.
I think it's
Clink
kind
the
of overkill.
clink the
for what
fucking
it is.
glass already.
All right. I don't think it's exotic.
I'm dying to hear this one. Jimmy Fox has an album called Hollywood: A Story of a Dozen Roses (parentheses Deluxe Edition), which we're reviewing today. And we're all familiar with Jimmy Fox from the early '90s sketch comedy show In Living Color, and his breakout film Booty Call, to his portrayal of Ray Charles in the movie Ray. So I think when he did that movie, that's when people realized he had an excellent singing voice and he's talented. So they were like, him and Kanye West, who put him on the song Gold Digger, began to help him with his R&B career. Now this is his fifth album, and not many people know about his 1994 debut album Peep This. It was like a New Jack Swing R&B album. Remember when New Jack Swing was popular in the early 90s? He put an album out that no one heard of.
Didn't Eddie Murphy put an album out?
Yes, if you want to compare them, sure. They both were on sketch comedy shows, yes. But this album he did 20 years ago, or 21 years ago, no one heard of. And it took him about 11 years to put out a second album that people assume is his first album. And despite the fact that his last album, Best Night of My Life, kind of sucked, and I haven't heard anything good from him since that song Blame It on the Alcohol, I was sure this would be his turnaround album. But let's put it all aside and let me... Actually, no, I'll tell you this right now. If you want to agree with me, Stu. I think Jimmy Fox is the horniest man in R&B right now. With the songs he has on this particular album, he's got the slow lengthy jams like Another Dose, and even the graphic song Like a Drum, which talks about smoking weed, licking and banging his girl like a drum. It's enough to make R. Kelly blush. That gets a bit repetitious after a while, but if you want this in your background while romantically nailing your girlfriend or your significant other, you wouldn't want the song to end mid thrust. Not girlfriend, but like your booty call, pun intended. You don't want the song to like cut off in the middle. That's why these like sexy love slow jams on this album are so lengthy. What do you think, Stu?
I don't know. I think each and every one of those tracks is about a different girl that he's banging, and none of them know about each other.
Uh-huh.
And he swears that each one is his woman and doesn't want anyone else.
Like he's
for
been,
like a day,
but it's
for like maybe like that's like his Tuesday.
it's supposed to transcend to like the listener.
Oh.
They're supposed to put that on, light some fucking candles, put some incense on, and just go at it.
I don't like R&B to begin with, so I don't want to say too much.
Wow. Okay. So let's
Yeah,
go on.
I
Let me
don't-
go on here. So, but it's not all it's not all R&B. Like the tracks,
Yes, it was.
the tracks called Tease, and one of my favorite songs in the album called Babies in Love are throwbacks to like the late 70s, early 80s funk that
Oh.
made Rick James popular. And he also switched the style again. The song you heard earlier when I had listened to it, he had like a piano ballads called "In Love by Now," and I think it's a really beautiful song, and I can really tell like he's being really heartfelt and emotional in his voice. I teared up a bit. I'll be honest with you. I got a little misty eyed with that song.
Well, you like the lyrics, obviously.
I like the
And-
mood.
And okay, what about the music? What about the production? I'm not even gonna touch anything about the production, but
Touch it.
Caress it. I'll talk about that. I do not like digital FM synthesis, and that's what they used. All the synthesizers are pretty much digital FM synthesis. I prefer the sound of virtual analog synthesis or analog synthesis. So
Right.
anybody that knows their synthesizers, I lay that one down.
Well,
I think it's an R&B thing. I think they like those sounds.
they do.
Yeah.
You don't understand it though.
I don't
you're
like
saying.
them.
You don't like it.
Yeah, it's crappy.
Do you
sound.
understand why they
It's
do
crappy
it?
sound. It reminds me of like Casio keyboards.
Which is, I know rap artists are doing it too. They're doing Casio stuff nowadays. Or
Oh, really?
yeah, Lil Wayne we mentioned earlier
It's
does
digital
Casio all
FM
the time.
synthesis, so I don't like it that much.
Remember the song? The one of the songs I like, which the highlight on the album is called "On a Dot." It's like kind of like a R&B rap song, which I like. But then the vulgarity continues with the track "Right Now," which features the constant lyrics, "She wanna fuck right now," followed by the filler song "Pretty Thing" and the slow closing jam called "Ain't My Fault." Now I'm no prude, but I find the profanity in an R&B song is it's kind of crowbarred in.
Oh no! Actually, that
It's-
was what I kind of liked that part.
You like when they sing
That was the
filthy
only
and
part
shit?
I liked when he just straight up said what he wanted, and it made it sound like that snare drum was just him like slapping some chick's ass.
Look,
He pretty
Stu,
much, I like the cursing.
Stu, let me
Yeah,
tell you
that
this.
was-
If
that
I'm
was
like,
the only thing that I liked
if
about
I'm singing
it.
an R&B song saying like, "Let me give you a Cleveland steamer,"
Yeah, that would make me laugh.
you'd be like, but that's distracting from the song. It's like it takes it away from the point. It's just that's funny because it's like Cleveland steamer. It's not because it's like it's not it's out of context with the flow of the song.
Yeah, I agree, but I
And
didn't
not to
care
mention-
I didn't care that much.
I found
I wasn't
it's-
feeling the song that much to really care.
And not to
about
mention, I
if it
feel
was
like
a
his music
distraction.
career is extremely stagnant.
Okay.
After
okay.
5 albums, I expect some growth in his sound, but however, when a song is good, then it's good. Even though there are even though they're far and few between the bullshit. So I don't hate it as much as you do. I don't know what you're gonna say, but I think this is something you can kind of download. There are some good songs. There are a lot of bad songs. Just download the good ones.
You think it would be good good music to have sex to?
That's the point of their album. It's for a fucking horny man.
All right. No, I don't like it. I don't like R&B. I never did. There has to be some kind of music that I don't like. I mean, I always said I hate country music, and then I said that to the wrong person, and then he was actually forced me to listen to country music at work until I found something I liked.
Right. So you haven't heard the R&B album you like yet,
No,
and this is not the one.
nobody's forced me to listen to that much R&B where I found something that I
This
like.
is not the one, right?
No, it's not.
So what do you give it?
No, Some of the cursing was funny though, but I give it a fuck it.
Jesus Christ, man! You hate you're that mad about hearing it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I know I know what will cheer you up.
Wasted 30 minutes of my life, Jamie Foxx.
Yet the album was over an hour long, so I don't know how you pull that off.
Because I was shuffling.
your balls in your hand. All right, for the final review, I wanted to mention this earlier. We're gonna have a guest on here who's a big fan of Muse, so her opinion counts, and she's my wife, so don't be too rude about it. She's bringing our child in here on this. I'm gonna set up the review, and we'll go in the order of Stu, me, and Herden last.
Reminds me of those licorice pipes. You ever have a licorice pipe? The black licorice pipes?
No, I have not.
Never had one? Alright. Looks like I'm going to have to go to the candy store and get you a licorice pipe. Never had Sambuca, never had a licorice pipe. Missing out.
All right. On that note, let's get to the Muse's 7th album. Muse is like an English prog rock band. This particular album is called Drones. It's a conceptual album following the person's journey from abandonment to indoctrination as a human drone. Also, this is supposed to be Muse's return to guitar, bass, drum, rock sound from their early catalog. Now, a brief story about me. For the first album I heard by Muse in its entirety was, I think, 2009. When I listened to it, I was working at a CD store. I was like, let me listen to a Muse album to like get people into sell some records or whatever, or pass the time. So the album I put on, I think it was called, you want to help me out on Mrs. S, what the song Time is running out. What's the album called?
I think that one's
Absolution. I put this album on for work while we're working, putting CDs away, everything like that. And it is fucking boring. After you get past like the hit songs, it's a lot of piano, like depressing, like mundane like music, and we're like, I hate this. This is boring. And then like the manager and the coworker said the same thing. But ironically, some lady come in the store and she's like, what is this? And we're like, it's Muse. And she's like, I like this. She fucking bought the album. So to each your own. What can you say? So, Stu, we're gonna go with you first. What do you think of the new Muse album? Be brutally honest.
I'll just touch on
some
little
points.
notes.
Yeah.
There was like a big beat. I think it was like the second or third song, and I heard big beat, and I was like, wow, that's like 80s big beat kind of sound. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I think they did. I don't know how old they are.
I think they're in their 40s.
They're in their 40s? Okay, so maybe they do have 80s influences. Because I did pick up on that. Because there was some big beat in there and various other sounds. They had really cool guitar sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guitar effects, wasn't your average guitar sound effects or anything I've really heard on anything else. So it was an original sounding, at least to me. I don't know, maybe they're copying something else that I never heard, but sounded cool. As for...
Let me get into like the first song I played, the first track that was called Dead Inside. Did you get like a kind of Foster People like vibe from it? Like, you heard that band before, Foster People? That's... Even though Foster People is newer than them, like when that song began with like the Dead Inside and like the beats and stuff, it reminded me of that particular band. Do you feel like they're copying other bands? I'm saying
No, I didn't feel. Well, you know what? I don't listen to enough of that genre to know.
Okay.
So, but from what I heard, it's original to me. Can you tell me if there's?
I'll tell you this right
else
now.
That
I'll tell you this.
sounds like it.
Let me tell you this, like
Because I can't really call
there's
it original.
like a skit after the first song with like a drill sergeant yelling at like an underling, and then they take that and pepper it in the next song called Psycho, which is like the first hit song, I think. And the thing I didn't like about that is they really should have used a sample from Full Metal Jacket, because I know that's what they're going for.
Oh my god! I was just about to say that. Okay.
Go ahead.
Normally, okay, I have a little bit of military experience, so I know about, like, I was in Civil Air Patrol, so I know about, like, how you're supposed to, like, call cadences and, like, what you're supposed to... It's supposed to be a sound from your gut. And, you know, they clearly were not anyone that was in the military, those samples.
Yeah, it sounds like pseudo, right?
They did not scream from their gut. They were screaming from their throat. Sir. Yeah, they were screaming from their throat, and that's the military screams from the gut.
That's like I said. They should just grab a sample from
at least the U.S.
They should have just grabbed Sergeant Hartman yelling at Gomer Pyle and just like put that on. They should just put that on there. It's like you. It was like the sample they used.
It worked.
Was completely awkward to me, and it was too. And then the song that they played after that, Psycho, was too repetitive for me, and it was like the same thing over and over again.
Maybe they don't like the military, so maybe they didn't want to find somebody that was actually in the military.
I like the guitar riffs of that song, but it was, like I said, it's too repetitive. Yeah, and they do it so many times. The fact that they are returning to rock music kind of loses luster if you're going to just do the same thing over and over again. But I will say this. He's an amazing guitarist. Like, the song Reaper's beginning sounds a bit like the song from Extreme called Play With Me, which you might have heard from the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure movie. And there's also incredible guitar solos mixed in with the head bouncing music that engulfs this number as well.
Now they've done more electronic albums.
They pepper electronics into their sound.
Yeah. But it has been more of an influence in previous albums than this?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I like this, so, you know, I like the subtlety of what they toss in there. So I'd actually want to research some of their previous albums.
Okay. So moving forward from what I said, do you feel like there's any point in the album where it dips down, or did you like it all the way through?
Yeah, the 10-minute track.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
It was
okay. We'll get into that, and I'll go back.
An epic journey of see,
the song that he's talking about. Let me tell you. The song that he's talking about was called "The Globalists," and it's a 10-minute song. And a lot of people out there will feel like 10 minutes is a bit too lengthy for a track.
When you're driving.
Uh-huh.
You're trying to go somewhere and, you know, make time go quicker.
What I found about the song, the reason I don't hate this song is because, like, they have different. It's not like the same constant thing for the whole 10 minutes. But
I skipped through it.
But the only problem is if you're gonna do a 10-minute song, you have to crescendo. You can't just do the same thing the whole time, which they do. They're attempting to do different things. But the only problem is, I feel it's like three parts. It's like first it's like him singing. And then it's like a rock part.
I pretty much ruined it for
and then
myself.
It's like a piano part. So I think with this song, it's like it encompasses their entire like career in one track. The only problem is, it's like it switches to three different things, so it's almost like you're hearing three different songs. Was
there even any singing? There was a little bit of singing, right?
Yeah, you heard singing.
Towards the end? Okay.
Towards the beginning and in the end.
Okay.
But I was saying, like, it's like three different styles in one song, so it could almost been three different songs. It wasn't like anything that, like, build to something else. You could just hear a different part of the song and go from there. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. But one of the songs I really liked after the JFK interlude is a song called Deflector. And it kicks off with like a heavy power chords and groovy bass lines for the verses. I really love the falsetto backing vocals for the chorus. And from the lyrics I gather, this is like the part of the album where the protagonist breaks free from his master's control. Which I thought was good. Like from that and the two songs earlier is when it really kicks off into like the whole like return to rock sound that they're going for. But then after the song Aftermath, which sounds like a bland Oasis song featuring Thom Yorke on vocals, it's really quite cheesy as the previous song, Revolt, with this lyrics, "You can grow, you can make this world what you want, you can revolt." Corny. Corny.
When you put it like that.
Yeah, well, I'm just
You're
I'm
making
just
it
saying what
worse.
they exactly say. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't remember the obviously the song's not that good if I can't remember how it sounded.
Yeah.
But and then I'll say this: the title track is utter nonsense at the end, so it's not even worth discussing. So Stu, what's your final thoughts on this album?
My final thoughts, Miss S. Are you gonna get a review
She's going
as
last
well?
because she's a big fan. Big
Oh,
fan.
you're gonna have to cut in with her too.
I will.
All
You go
right,
first.
all right. Well, oh, what is my final verdict?
Yes.
Well, we don't have a rip it, do we?
You didn't like the last song, right? The acapella versions.
There was like the first 8 songs are great,
Uh-huh.
and then it slowly tapered off. The last song was good. So there was a section that I didn't like, but I'd rip it. But that's not one of our
Download
options.
it, right? Download.
I'm gonna steal it from you.
So you download
okay,
it.
so that's a download.
All right. So what I gotta say about it is,
Oh, I feel bad.
I like Muse
I
fans
don't
won't
steal music.
Muse fans won't be disappointed, but this is not the return of rock that you were expecting. It's only like more rock and less electronic music from the previous records. So don't expect to hear another Origins of Symmetry record. This is like basically they strip down some things and that's it. So I say I agree with you, Stu. This is something you can download. But our opinions do not matter. We're gonna go to Mrs. S, who is a big Muse fan, listening to them for years, has their complete catalog. So her opinion is what counts. Here we go.
Okay. I actually did agree with a lot that you guys were saying. Defector is my favorite song, so I'm glad that it's yours as well. I do like Dead Inside a lot. The Psycho Killer song, it took me a while to kind of like it, but I do think they can be better, but the guitar parts in it are awesome. And I also agree, after Defector, the CD's just awful.
Mm-hmm.
That 10-minute song is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, I feel like if I, put it on my iPod and that shit comes on, I'm going to be like, fuck, like I have to go to, like, you don't always
I have
want
to waste my time pushing the button to go to the
pretty
next
much.
song.
But when you're driving, you don't want to have to do that. You want to just be able to listen to every single song. That would piss me off, that 10-minute bullshit, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't as impressed with the CD as I wanted to be.
How did you like it compared to the previous one, Second Law or whatever?
At the second one, I think I liked more songs than I did with this one. I also don't think Second Law is that amazing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you are a Muse fan, I think you should download it.
Oh, we're going with download?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are a Muse fan, I say download it because I think it's worth checking out if you already like their music, because you're going to find probably about 4 songs that you're going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have never heard their music, I say skip it and download one of their other albums.
Oh, we got double overview right here.
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
how I feel about that.
So that's the opinion right there. That's what counts. Thank you very much, Mrs.
That
S.
may be mutual.
Thank you.
too.
Good night.
Wow, that was pretty accurate.
Yeah,
to
we
what
had a
to what we
three-way
came up-
right there,
Yeah,
which I know
yeah.
you're
And
hoping
she
for.
was the one that knows her shit.
Yeah. All right. So that was a great show. You want to do another shot before we go out?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Lil Jon, set us off. And as we said before, this show has been sponsored by Sambuca, which is now my new favorite shot.
Oh, wait, just to add, this is D'Amore Zambuca.
D'Amore.
Yes, so I hope I pronounced that right. I guess I can't pronounce that wrong. I've never heard of it. I've always drank other Sambucas, but this is pretty damn tasty.
It is delicious. All right, so that's the show, everybody. So, if you want to get in touch with us, go to our email, which is njhybridradio@gmail.com. Or you can go to our Facebook at facebook.com/NJHabbitradio.
Or you
Mm-hmm.
can go to the website and there's a contact section that I spent probably a day trying to figure out the PHP on it, so it's a lot easier to
I
contact
hope you're
us
on
that
our
way.
web page right now, which is njhabbitradio.net.
Yes.
Another great show. Thank you very much, Stu, for hanging in there with your hangover. Which
Yes.
I'm sure it's gone by now, right?
miraculously cured.
That's the cure, everybody.
I'm totally cured.
If you have a hangover in the
I feel
morning, don't
Yeah.
let the schools lie to you. Just get drunk again. This is Jarrell and my co-host Stu and my special guest, my wife and my sidekick, my partner, my everything, Mrs. S. And we're gonna say good night, good morning, good evening.
It's 5
Doesn't
o'clock
matter.
somewhere.
Yes. Have a good night.